All right. So for today's workshop, we'll be replicating this and this using what we've learned so far, trying to apply it to this.
Sorry,
Right?
sir, we can't see your screen.
Now, you can see my screen.
No, sir, I can't.
Is anybody experiencing this also, or you just push that?
I can see your screen.
I can see your screen, sir.
I can see
I
your
can
Okay.
see
screen.
it.
Okay. So Pushka,
I can see your screen. Sir.
let me stop sharing. Let me share again for your sake. If it doesn't still work, then you might have to join back. So yeah, can you see it now?
Yes, sir, I can see your screen now. Thank you.
All right. So this is a a website, right? I got it online. It's a website. I think apparently what they do is it's a digital studio. How did I know? I saw portfolio, I saw testimonials, and I'm seeing sign up. So let's say the digital studio. This is their hero section. Hero section. This is the hero section. Now, a hero section of a website is where you display the most important information. So in this section, what you do is to optimize this section properly, you have to give users quick insight on what you do by giving them a bold title, right? A bold tagline, maybe. Yeah. Giving them what to do, get started as a call to action quickly, and then an image to support if need be. If we look at let's look at Miro for example. Get into my dashboard. Let me not use Miro. Let me use Mailchimp. Uh, yeah, an email marketing company, right? So if you go to Mailchimp, this is not Mailchimp, Mailchimp. Yeah. So this is the hero section from what I can see. So they give you a tagline here, turn emails into revenue. A quick, short tagline aim at converting. So you're just giving your value proposition. This is what we do. We turn emails into revenue. Then they give you something here to also um, portray this point. Win new customers with the number one email marketing and automation brand that recommends way to get more open click and sales. They tell you why you should use them because they're number one email marketing brand, and then you can get more open sales and clicks. Now that you've told the user all this, what should he do? Sign up. That this is your hero section. Before I even scroll down to see what other things you do, from this spot, you should be able to convert me or lose me. That's how important the hero section is, right? This whole is the landing page. Yeah, this is the landing page. But this main section, the first viewport, this first area, if I click on your website, where I land on, that is your hero section. So it should be able to convert a user. So by giving them, this is what we do, this is why we do it, this is what you stand to gain, and this is who we are. We are the number one email marketing and automation brand. Now you've done all these things. What next? Sign up. Because you are assuming that anybody landing here, you are prioritizing new customers than old customers. Of course, old customers, if you don't sign up, what you should do is log in. But for new customers, right? New users, before they move to leads, sign up is the action that you should use. So this sign up, then takes them here where they have to select something before they then sign up. So this is the hero section. What they have here, they told you what they do. You've got a brilliant idea. You have brilliant minds. Basically converting your ideas into solutions. This person used lorem ipsum, so I can't say what this is, but what he tried to say or what he will try to say is why you should do this, why you should use our service. Now, when we are done, get started, meaning contact us, get started. If you are still unconvinced, play video. So play video to see what people have done before, what we have done for people before, testimonials, and then we continue from there. This is just a sample, right? This is just a screen I got from Dribble, so we are trying to replicate it. Now, as I said, when you are designing first start, even when you now get into designing proper, a major aspect of designing is mood board gathering. What are mood boards, right? Mood boards are things you draw inspiration from. I could go on Dribble, as probably that's my inspiration source. I'm designing for a fintech platform, a fintech landing page, or a fintech website. I could go on Dribble, right, and search for fintech landing page. Fintech landing page. Let's spell landing correctly. So when I do that, a lot come out for me to select from to select. So if I see this, I like how this is. Why is it coming out this way? So if I see this, I like how this is, right? I could copy the image, come to my Figma file and just paste it, right? This is one. Probably I like how the person used this hand, how the person used this hand. That's fine. I just come here, drop it. I go again, keep on feeding my eyes with designs that are used by that are designed by people, other pro design to see what they do, how creative they were, what can I pick from it. I look at maybe this one. Now I'm confused, right? Or I'm mixed. I I might like how the phone is in this one compared to how the phone is in the other one. It's taking some time to load. But if you can see this though, yeah, I might like how the phone is here. Or it's a video. Wait. Let me use this one for example. So give me a minute. I'll just switch my network to another one. So you don't want to embarrass me. Oh, such a video also. Anyway, let's say I like how this one is now. Probably I like how they used a phone and then they used the responsive version of it. They use the web app and use the responsive version of it. I like how it is. I like how this Facebook, Google, Airbnb, Amazon, I like how it is over there. I like how this is, right? I could just save it, save video if needed, and I could just download the video if I want to, but right now I don't want to. And then I just keep it. Now, what I'm doing is I'm gathering inspirations, I'm gathering things that are regular with people, what people are used to, where the current trend is going to. Then I can now use all these things to mentally get a picture of what I want to achieve. Now I might just eventually take the hand, just the way this hand is, right? I might ignore this one, take this hand, then in my own design, I then go and get a hand, put my phone inside, right? And then use my own landing page or my own hero section. So all these are ideas of way of generating ideas, right? It's at the end when your creativity now comes into place. How do you now do this to solve the need? How do you now do this to reach the client goal? How does this help? Right? As you can see, the person added this arrow to draw your attention to this thing. It's not added because he wanted to add it. I'll just zoom in a bit. It's not add this arrow because he felt like he want to add it. But if you're on this screen and then you see an arrow, you like to see where it's pointing to, and then it's pointing down here, telling you that there are 6.7 million users who are happy with what they do. So it's convinced you, even if that's not the purpose, right? But then it has added to convincing you on getting started with them, right? This one might be that okay, it's a human behind the system, it's not robots. That's why they use the human here, telling that we offer 24-hour service. So this image might, I mean, I could use illustration here. Or it's a fintech product. I want to tell users that your money is secure with me, right? Your money is safe. It's human beings that are behind the money, not robots behind the money. So let's use an image to depict human nature. So this if I would be the one doing this is what I'd have thought about using this image. That would have thought about using this arrow to draw attention to this section. And now as you can see now, this their accent color now is purple. This is the one that is shouting, click me, click me. I mean this is black, this is black, 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 black. But then there's one that is saying click on me, click on me. Now that's what you used to put on your main call to action. The 60-30 rule here applied on this section is the 60% is this background because it's used almost everywhere. The 30% now is black, I see it's on text and then it's on buttons. The 10% is just the accent color to draw attention to that thing to click on it. Right. Best believe if you come on this website, the first picture I will go to is this because everything is screaming black, but then something is shouting purple. Who are you? Then you now come here. So let's talk about this. Let's see how we could design this. Well, this one is it's a Web3 platform. Web3 is saying that it's crypto related. So it's a portfolio where you can transfer money and then you can see chat allocation. Right. So I'll start with this. So I'll draw my desktop first off. Remember, our desktop size you should take is 1440 by 1024. I'll rename it to land hero section. Let's just say landing page because the hero section is a section of your landing page. The hero section is a section of your landing page. Yes, you have a question for me?
Yes, I have a question. Yeah, please, I wanted to ask, because sometimes I try to redesign already existing websites. So when I screenshot it and paste on my Figma file and like try to like replicate it side by side my frame, so I realized that the screenshot is a bit wider than the frame is smaller. So I don't know. And also like I also like try to use the inspect tool to like check the correct sizes of the fonts and other things. So when I check the inspect tool, like for a particular font, let's say that the font for the hero section is different from when I like trace it directly from the screenshots. Why is it like that? That's just my question.
Okay, so well for this one, as you saw what I did over here at Dribble, it might be uh let me bring this guy. So now you see how it is. But then if I copy it and then come to Figma, I just do pasting, it might not be the same size, it might be bigger than what it was. If I want it smaller, I use the scaling tool, right? And you just scale it down. So it's smaller now, then you can put it side by side to your design and try to replicate. Now
Oh,
I don't get the part where you said you trace because I don't
so
see the need for
okay.
tracing. But yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I don't think you got my question. So now, like this image that I got from Dribble, yeah, I'm
yeah.
talking about like an actual website.
Okay, let's take for example, let me just use the Mailchimp we talked about. Uh, No, not Namecheap. You don't want me to come to your website, no problem. Okay, so you want to take a screenshot of this now, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I have a plugin that does that for me. So let's say I take I'm sorry, an extension. Let's say save, copy to keyboard and paste it. So
Yes.
it's now as big as this, yeah.
Now, like, okay, now can you just like maybe try and resize it to the size of that frame so that like,
Inside of this frame.
yeah, like just, I know it cannot be exactly, but at
Okay,
least,
so I'll just use my scaling tool, right?
yes.
And then
Mm.
I'll just resize it to
Yeah.
let's say the size of this frame. But it might not be exactly, but let's get to 1440. Let's put it there. Okay, so I have it. I think I have it
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah. So what I now do, like to try and get the exact to get the exact font size, that I try like and put a rectangle over it to like get the font size. Then I
Hmm.
compare it with this. Like my question is that why is it different?
Well, you're not doing the right way, right? That the rectangle format you just said, that's a very, very new one.
Okay.
Before you go into trying to design a platform, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In as much as you want to use guessing to guess what font size this is, or you go and
Mm-hmm.
inspect it, there's actually using there's a typography scale. There's something we call typography scale. It's also
Okay.
when we get typography, we'll talk about it. But typography scale, same thing as using the normal spacing scale, 8-point grid. If you are moving your typography scale, move 8-point grid. First,
Okay.
to handle typography scale, you start with a base value, right? So the base value you start with is 16 pixels.
Okay.
16 pixels, right? So the next one, of course, this is among the eight pixels grid. Let's just say we start with 8, right? So 8 pixels. The next one, 16. The next one, as we talked about, 20 now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Next one we have is 24.
Mm-hmm.
Then 28, right?
Yes.
Then 32. Then we'll now start jumping by 8, right? 40 pixels. And 48. And then I think 56. Up until we get to 96, whatever.
Okay.
56 plus 8 is about 64. Right. So we have 64 and then 72 and 80 pixels. You get to 96 pixels. That's the highest I've seen so far. So you get 88 and 96. This is the highest I've seen in any website, 96 pixels. So now this is my spacing, my typography scale, and I utilize the 8-point grid, right, in this system. This is where we change our pixels now. So this 8 pixels is 8 here, and then this guy 16 will be 16 here. Yeah, we missed one, 12 pixels. Now we have 16. Now we come here and we do 20 pixels. We come here and we do 24. 28, 32, 40, 14, 48, 56, 64 pixels, 72, 18, 88, 96. Now I have all these osmosis. So this is my typography scale from 8 pixels down to 96 pixels, right? So anything I'm using has to fall within this range. Now, how do I know what to use, when to use it? So if you know a bit of HTML and CSS, HTML mostly, you would know about header one, header two, header three, paragraph, or body text, and you know labels, footer, stuff like that. So they utilize these things here also. Let's look at this. This is header one. This is paragraph text, right? Or it can be header three. These are header three, so all subheadings basically. We don't use 8 for web. We rarely use 12 for web. What we use for web is actually 14 pixels. Right, 14. The least we use for web is 12 pixels, but then after 12 we use 14. That's because if you, as I said before, it's 8-point grade. If you want to go into the nitty-gritty, if you want to be attention to details, you use 4-point grade. If you want to get to precision also, you go down and you use 2 points in that format. So people usually add to this and then you create another one that is 14. Oh, no wonder this kind of stuff. Yeah. So after 14, then 16, then you start going by 4, 20, 24, 28, then you start going by 8 again. Now we have all this. Sometimes people skip 80 and 88 because they are too close to each other. So we just go from 80 to 96 by adding the 16 instead of we move from 2, right, to let's add 10 pictures here. So move from 2. When we get to 12 now, 2 again, 14, 16, and we'll move to 4, 20, 24, right? Then 40, move to 8. I mean, from 32, we start using 8. 32, 40, 48, 56. Some people, once they get up to 80, right, they start using 16. So they skip 88 and go to 96. That's because if I put an 88 pixel size here and I put the 80 pixel size here, the hierarchy is not clear enough. It's almost the same, right? But then if I replace this with a 96, and then the next one is 80, it's sort of, that, okay, there's a difference in size compared to when it was 80 and 88. You get? So all this guide is just a guide to create consistency across your platform. Everything still falls to you, the designer, to then look at it because of course you're a human, so you have the eyes that you choose to see stuff. To see if it works. If I'm merging like for example, if I merge 14 and 12 together, the difference is not much. But if I merge a 16 and a 12, I can use 16 to create hierarchy to tell you that this is actually more important than this guy, right? Because clearly it's better than this. Now, if you are designing, say you want to now replicate this. This is your header one, so you might decide what the highest size you want to use. So you might decide that you want to use 64 as your highest size, meaning this one is 64 to be your highest. So you use 64 here first. I'm derailing from this, but I don't know if there's any way I'll be able to answer your question in terms of the fact that you don't trace by using rectangles, but you follow a typography scale and then you see what works at what point. I don't know if you understand at all.
Yeah, I think I understand, but like my question is still that like if you use on the actual website, if you maybe on you check the header, the hero text, and you see that okay, maybe this one is 48. The
Yeah.
font size is 48. Then when you now go to Figma, I have used that you have used the type scale to now measure it, and maybe you now start, oh, that font is actually closer to 42 on the Figma file. So my question is now, why is there discrepancy like in the
So in this case
font?
now, it's 48, right?
Yes,
48, then this is 24 pixels. So are you saying that
yes,
if I go to Figma and I try to put 48, it would not work?
yes. It might be bigger.
Uh, let's just try that then. Let's see how it works. Um, um, this the font name is Means Web. Means Web. Can I download that? Okay, I think it's a paid font because of course 16 pixels of. I mean, let me just give a sample. Now this is Inter, 48 of Inter, right? Now the same 48 pixels of maybe Roboto. I see
Yeah,
like it's smaller.
it's smaller.
I might try to use 48 of maybe Montserrat, right? Montserrat. Well, let me use Latin. I see like it's smaller.
Yes.
So that's why this is just a guide. Everything still boils down to you, and then you know the font you are using. So you might test run, probably the font you're using now is, in this case now is Inter. We might test run 48 for Inter, and then it might be too big for this section, it might be too small. So then we might
Okay.
want, what's our next scale after 48? 56. We might now want to, so here, maybe try 56. Is it big enough? Okay, let's try that. You understand?
Yes.
So your font size also matters if you are doing this. Because what they
Okay.
used over here, they used means web, but we using internal, we saw that it is way larger than what they have at the moment. So it will not scale, it will not work. You get?
Okay. But this is that like even though like you changed the font type and yes there are different sizes, it's still like the difference between what's on the frame and the image is still large, like the difference between the font size. You get, if I'm just saying that if you want to replicate this screenshot like pixel by pixel.
Yeah.
So I'm just, my question is like why is it different
This
when
screen
you're
size has a
replicating?
role to play.
Okay.
I think your screen size has a role to play. If I'm on the monitor now, I think this is 20, 27 inches. Yeah. So it might be smaller. But then if I, let me just inspect this and let's pump it down a bit to, she's getting smaller. If I
Okay.
scale it up, it might still be getting bigger. So the screen size also affects what you are designing. But that's not for you. That's for the developer. He knows how to adapt the screen size to the font that you use. You get.
Okay.
So all you need to know basically is this: create a scale for consistency, when to use it to portray hierarchy, and then you follow through from there. But then
Okay.
if you use it as your header one, anywhere you have header one, of course you cannot have header one more than one time in a website. So, but if you're using paragraph text as 16 pixels, anywhere that is paragraph, you should use 16. Don't go and use 24 there. There's no consistency there.
Okay.
So,
Understand.
all right, cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. So let's see how we could work on this. First off, let's see how we could use our layout grid that we learned about. Um, 12. Um, let's start with 100 pixels, and then let's leave it at 20. All right. Um, by the right, is these white spaces, they are left for breathing room. One second. Sorry, give me 1 minute. The margin we have in left and right is for breathing room. So what's left for us is actually within year and year. Within this is where we'll be designing. As you can see from these guys, they gave margin. They're designing around this place. Doesn't mean that other things cannot span through. I mean, if you want, if in a scenario where you want something to roll through, maybe like a carousel, maybe, then it's fine to take the full width, right? But you know that your content is within a boundary. So now we have this. This is called top nav, the logo, your quick navigation, and if need be, a call to action here. But before I dive into that, notice that these two buttons, we have types of buttons. We have primary buttons, we have secondary buttons, and um, tertiary buttons. Uh, this is a primary button. This is a secondary button. This is a tertiary button. Primary button is identified with their fill. There's a fill in it. That's primary button. This tertiary button, I mean secondary button, there's a stroke, so it's different from this. Tertiary button is a ghost. It's a ghost button. If you look at this one also, okay, this person utilized primary. So there was a third one that we saw. Okay, this is primary, secondary. So we have the logo. Let's represent our logo with something. Yeah. Then our text say home. Let me start the text with 20 pixels. Text is home. The next one I have is service. The next one I have is portfolio, testimonials, and contacts. Okay, just align this. Give me proper spacing between them. Let's start my spacing with 24. Right. Remember the spacing scale we did. Now I have 24 first things first. It's bound to change. I see that there's no, it's looking too tight, right? I can then move to see what 32 does. It's looking okay. It's too tight. Let's see what 40 does, right? If it's too long, then let's go back to 32. So it's new. Next one here is login sign up. So I'll just replicate this and say login. Next one is sign up. Now this sign up, it's a rectangle and a text. So I'll do a rectangle and I'll put a text inside. If it's behind, to bring it to front, you come here, right click on it, you see bring to front or send to back. These are the shortcuts. So bring to front is in front. Now I can group this to Ctrl G, right? Call it button. Login. Do login or sign up? Sign up. Okay. Now I have this. There's something also called auto layout. I don't know if I introduce that now, if it will be too much hassle for you guys. But let me turn these guys to regular. Or single regular. Regular also. For auto layout, I could create this button without having to use rectangle and text, without having to draw a rectangle. All I need is just my text and then click on auto layout here. No, okay, you can't change just this. But I use the shortcut Shift A, right? I've made it an auto layout. Now I have this thing to modify how I want it to be. So first things first, I want the fill. So I put the fill and change the color to what I want, right? The auto layout. Next thing, we have distance between our horizontal padding, meaning, you know what paddings are now? I've talked about paddings. Distance between this L and this thing. Let me just zoom in and use ruler line. Distance between this L, if you can see my ruler though. Distance between this L and this line, the end of this line. So that is horizontal padding. Distance between this, the top of the L, right, and this top, and vertical padding. So this is horizontal padding, vertical padding. Now, if you click on it in auto layout, right, unlike this side, if I want to increase this, probably I want to increase the size on the left now. I have to click on the rectangle, draw it, then carry this one here, then draw it again. Is equal, it's not equal. Start changing the size the way I want. Right, that's too much work. But using auto layout, I could just come in here and then I tell that I want both sides, both left and right, to maybe be 24. Right? Automatically, it has become 24. Right. I want up and bottom to be 12 pixels, and then I have it. If you click on it and you want to see it, 24 here, 24 here, 12 here, 12 here. But in this case, if I want to do that, I have to now then reduce it. Yeah. So I've got to the same thing, right? But see the time I took me to do this, and see the time it took me to do this other one. That's why this auto layout is nice. But for a start, it might be difficult for you to get a grab of what an auto layout is. You understand? That's why I don't want to talk about it now. You just know that auto layout helps you do things faster. But if you want to do the normal way, right? This is it. To draw a rectangle, and then your text. So rectangle and text. I'll use the auto layout, right? Because I don't have time. But we'll talk about it at some point. So I have that of my login because I want to use this to system. Now, when creating buttons, your horizontal padding should be 2 times your vertical padding. Your horizontal padding, that is this part, should be twice this part when you're creating buttons. The minimum size of a button, minimum size a button should ever be is 40 pixels. Minimum size a button should ever be is 40 pixels. But I prefer to start from 48, right? Because it's the advised touch radius is 44 by 44. By touch radius, I mean around this place. It's advised that you give a room of 44 pixels by 44 pixels for users so that those people with large thumbs can still click on it. So I start my pattern I mean my buttons from 48 upward, 48, 56, and then we move like that. So I have my primary button. This is my secondary button. I want 20 pixels between them, and they should be together. And you can see in this one, as I was changing the name, it was automatically changing by itself, still maintaining what I said it should maintain, 24 by 12. But in that case where we did, if I decide to write something else inside, I'll have to now start adjusting it again, right? As time taking. So so I'll sign up here. I want this to be 20 pixels between them and from here. So now I have this one, I can group it, Manji. I can make them auto layout also so they are together, right? 20 pixels between them. These ones also, I can group them or I can make them auto layout. Now the advantage of making them auto layout instead of grouping them is if I group it, Control G, they are now a group. Now if I change this, maybe I don't want it to home again, I want to be home page. I change it to home page. Now so that it is entering inside this one, I have to now manually push all these ones and then get another proper spacing between them. But if I make this an auto layout, Shift A is to make auto layout, right? If I make it an auto layout, I could change this to home. And every other person, they follow suit. The only just to adjust to how it is. Instead of contact, I could put contact us, right? And then I could move it to the center or change position. But in other ones, I have to manually, let me just change this guy, let me move the auto layout and then group it. If I want to move this guy over here, I have to either move it, then move this one, or you know that thing I told you guys about this red dot. So I can now draw it and then move it. But in auto layout, I could just use my directional keys, left, 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 right, 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 and then they all adjust. So it's also like a lifesaver, but for a start, it's difficult to understand because it's not the natural norm. But when you get to use it, when you get to understand what they are, then it will be free flowing. So I have my logo, right? I have my this and I have my this. So let's just put them together. Before talking about spacing between them, usually what I do is I put this thing at the middle, right? But of course I'll give the logo has something like DIGCY. So let's give it that. I'll take this one of it and put T and G. So be a different font. I group it and I call it logo. Right. Now I have this logo. Although this font has a lot of problems. It's too aligned to the top than the center, unlike this one that's even aligned to the bottom. But I will not dive into how to manipulate fonts right now. So I have this, then I have this, and I have this. If I center this guy, right at the center, I have this here, I have this here. Center 100, no, 100, 100. So at the top here, okay, I don't have this side per se, but if you come to this one, you will see that as I'm scrolling, this guy at the top is sticks. When you're at the top, you feel like there's no background behind it. You feel it's staying just on top of the screen. But if you scroll, you see that there's a background behind it, right? Because it's sticking at the top. There's a background. Same thing, same thing here. This one is not just sitting here. There's a background on it, but the color of the background is the same color here. So why am I saying this? Because I want to add a background. I want to add something here. And I push it to back. My landing page color is this, right? F9, F9, correct. Color picker, click on this thing here, and then you can just pick any color you want. If I want this purple, I could click on this thing, and then come to purple and pick it. I get the purple. If I want this exact color of yellow, I can just come and pick it. I get the exact color of yellow. This color in this woman's clothes, I can just come and pick it. I get that clothes. If it's this blue, you come and pick it. I get the blue. Well, what we want is this one, so just pick it. F9, F9, that's fine. So my rectangle will be F9, F9. But I don't want it that here because I want to also do some positioning inside. Selecting all my logo, just give it something else. Yeah. So selecting everything, I'll say that okay, this is 29 from the top. I'd like to make it 32, right? Same thing from the bottom. 32 pixels from the bottom. 32, 32, 100, 100. Now I have my top number, so I could highlight all these guys and then group them and name them top nav. Now after I have this, I can now change this color to my F9, F9. Let me turn on this grid. So you would think it's not there, right? But it's actually there because when we scroll, that's why in some websites you see that the top nav they leave it as white. So users can see that it is not staying on top of this one. But in this one, they made it the same color as this, so that when users that it just blends in, it looks like white space, right? But when you scroll, it sticks to the top. Same thing they did in this case, right? The same color. So let's say we are replicating this for what it is. And just get this same shape. This same shape to achieve it now. You know we're talking about the pen tool. Pen tool, you click, get, they come back here, you lock it, right? If I want to fill it, I come here and then I fill it. Done. Turn off the stroke. Get this. Now I have something like that. Maybe not perfect, but not exactly. I double tap into it. I will now get these 4 pointers to modify. I can now click on the part I want to adjust, draw it down, click on this top, draw it down, draw it up, right? And then probably it's now closer to what I want. It's a circle here. I will just draw the circle. It's a logo, so I don't have any idea what to talk about in this logo. I'm just trying to replicate. So in this one, I could draw 2 circles. At the same time, I can achieve this purpose also by adding a stroke with a larger outline. And the field will be this. The outline will be white. Right. So now I have nearly what they have at the moment. Group it and call it logo here. Those logos you get it from actually the brand guys, except you do logo. Logo is too much. I can scale it up using my scale tool and just scale it up maybe 56, and then bring this guy closer to it. Yeah. So have these. Um, have this. And my top nav is fine, but before that, I think there's a red here. Let's change the red. No, we talked about using brand color when we're talking about rules in spacing, right? I know there was a section where we said match colors to brand. So clearly the brand color is this shade of yellow. The brand color is shade of yellow, is yellow also. The brand color is green, because I've seen lots of green, right? This is purple, but I've seen lots of purple. I won't say black, I'll say purple. This is green, because I've seen it green, green. They are trying to match it with them. So when you are there, you still feel that I'm in the same product. I did not leave the product, right? Now we have this, but this is the home page. This is the home page. So you need to let users know that they are in the home page. So you need to create a certain level of hierarchy in this level. They're all the same, home, service, they're all the same. But then how do I know this is where I am, not in service? So the way some people do it is, if the color is not contrasting, they change this, the where they are at the moment, to their brand color. Okay, and then they give it a certain level of weight. So it's thicker than other guys. So right now, as you can see, we know that, let me take out this contact on. So as you can see, you know that this person is in the home screen. Don't need anybody to tell you that it's in the home screen. Now we have that. Next, we have our login, we have navigation, we have this. Next is your tagline. You've got a business, we have got brilliant minds. So I'll start with 64 pixels, right? If it's too big, I nudge it down to 56. If it's still too big, 48. If it's too small, I go to 72. So still using this, come outside. 56 pixels. It has to be bold. It has to be very bold. So that's what catches their attention. You got a business, you have got brilliant minds. Now I can see that the layout you use there is some on the left, some on the right. I could make it very long like this, right? And then put this text that they put here, put it under here, put the button underneath. That's where your iteration comes into play. This way, if you are ideating, getting solutions, you don't just create one layout and stick with it. You try and see what works. I mean, I could do this. Put many long, long, let me just get one text. I don't like using the word ipsum, so I just get one text basically that relates to what it is. So, and then I get my button that says get started and play video. But as you can see that this one is primary, secondary. So I could duplicate this one And then instead of fill, I could just turn it to stroke, right? Instead of fill, I could use stroke. I have now sorry, come back inside. Now the reason you saw that I tried to duplicate it by just clicking on it and dragging it outside, but it's inside a group called top nav. So if I click and drag it outside, it is still inside the group. That's why you're seeing that there's a boundary coming down here. So if I want to move this top nav, it will move this one that we just did alongside. That's because I did not recreate it, I just duplicated it inside. If you want to do this and increase your speed, when you do this and this kind of situation occur, just get what you want, drag it outside the frame, and then bring him back inside. So he's now a standalone, right? As you can see, the top nav is now on his own. It's now on his own. Alternatively, we could just copy Ctrl C, click on the frame itself, and then paste it. It is now on its own. Then you bring it outside. So it's not to the top now. But if this was an auto layout, because I could recreate this thing using auto layouts, right? Let's say I have just these three. I bring these three outside. It's still inside the top now, as you can see, because I just duplicated it. So I'll bring them outside the frame and take them back inside. Let's say I have this. I want to get the same thing, but this time I want to do it in a better and faster way. Right? Auto layout shift A. I've gotten it in auto layout. We know that to the left is 100. So I come here and tell it 100 to the left. We know to the top is 32. I come here and tell it 32 to the top, right? I add a fill, white. As you can see, it is white. Now I have gotten the same thing. But now if peradventure I want to duplicate, I want to drag this login and sign up, I can come here. If I drag it out, it's a standalone, it's not among these guys. That's one essence of group and frames, right? As you can see, in this one, if I want to duplicate it by using the alternate and drag, if I drag it outside, it is still a part of. Yeah, sorry about that. I had to take a quick call. Yeah. So now we have, as you can see in this case, because it's a group, right? But this one is a frame. So if I click and drag, it is still inside the group. So I have to probably manually bring it outside, right? And it's now a standalone on its own. Or I could take it um, take it away from the main frame, then bring it back inside, and then it's now a standalone. So I've repeated this using auto layout also. Okay, so now we have this. Now this is one variant, right? This is one. I've gotten the name, this is one, right? Now, if I want to, I might have a different variant. I use a different layout, probably left aligned. This one is in the left. This guy is here, right? Left aligned also. And then the button is on the left. All in my 100. And then probably something else on the right, maybe maybe a circle, right? With an image inside. Now this another layout. All aim at converting from this hero section. So this person had the origin of going this way, right? But you could go this if this works for you. You could go this if this works for you. You could go this if this works for you. I think the person here wanted you to pay more attention on this because this is the value proposition. This is what we are doing for you. You have this, we've got this. Then you can now read this and then get started. So let's do this also. So if we have this, let's just turn on our grid. Let's work within the grid. So say we have this, right? Remember, you don't stop your stuff in between in the gutter. You stop it in a column. You don't stop it in the gutter. You stop it in a column. But there are some cases where you break the grid, as we talked about, but there has to be a purpose for breaking the grid. It has to work for that purpose. Because, I mean, there might be a time now that I want you to form this kind of unison, but it is something that will end maybe here. You not tell me not to do it because I want to follow grid. Stop it. I'll do it. But in this case, it worked, right? In this one, I'll do the same thing. Let's say we put it here. Of course, this one is 100, and then, yeah, or maybe this one. Now, if you are using left align here, remember this is left aligned. Your next one, since they are together, it's a pair. This is left aligned. This guy cannot be center aligned. As you can see, it doesn't look nice. But if this is left aligned also, there's a form of, okay, they may be together, right? And then these guys also. But if you want to use center align, this one will be center align, something like this. This guy should be center align, something like this. This one will be at the center. So it's better to have this so that as a user, your scanning is just up to down, right? You're scanning up to down. Now imagine if this is left aligned, this is center, and this is, so you see that there is a break. I'm going left, right, now I'm moving center, and then I'm now, that's the consistency I told you about. So let's say we have this, we have this. Now what spacing should we give between each other? We go back to our spacing scale. If you have memorized the 8-point grid, you might not need to fall back to your spacing scale in person. You already have it in your head. So first things first, let's start with giving 16 pixels. Is it too close? Let's pump it to 24, right? Okay. How about you? Let's see 16. Too close. Let's try 24. Okay. Turn off our grid. How is it looking? Okay, we're getting there. So you see, this is better than, because you have a sense of direction, you know where you're going to, you have a pattern you're following. 24, if 24 is too much, you might want to try 20, and then this guy, okay. Now this is too tight, right? So let's just stick with 24. 32 might be too much, right? 32 might be too much, but I think 24 is a better visual blend, if you all agree. So there's something called kerning. Talk about typography, line heights. I mean, maximum text that should be in a line, 64 characters. Now, if something is too tight, say it's like this. I cannot. Okay, let's say It's many like this. Now, yes, it is 24 pixels. Yes, it's fine, but it's difficult to read because the line height between them is too small. This is where you see line height. 29. So you start by using the next after your scale. Now it has the default line height is 29, right? It has already passed 26, sorry, 24, which is your scale. The next one is 32. We start by 32. Did it give it more breathing room? Can users now read from up to down without reading a line 2 times? If it did not work, then we try it again. But more often than not, now this is too much. Yeah, this is too much. More often than not, the next on your scale, the next on your scale from what is there originally usually works. And also, you will not want to do something like this. You must feel the length. Manuel said 100, 100, so let's do 100, 100. Okay, yeah, users start reading from here to here, come down here again. No, there's an acceptable characters that must be in a line, right? So it's 64. More often than not, we do not really count. Well, I do not really count. I just keep it about 12. 12 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I just give it 12 blocks. And of course, the blocks has to be, if the block is probably this automation, I'll not count automation as one, automation is two. But it's my skill, it's how I work, right? But more often than not, it's 12 that goes in a line. Your grid also helps you to keep it in check, right? So you see what works, and then you continue like that. I think I'll stop at this. So okay, I'll just be doing that to show you a sample. So we have this. Now one thing again I want to point out, just be taking it as pointers because I don't know if I would have said it eventually. So we don't usually leave. This is a loner. This minds is a loner right now. So we don't usually leave loners. We like them in pairs. So try to something of this sort, right? So that it's not just him that is standing alone as minds. Imagine in this case now we have probably just builder standing. Do you get? But now it breaks the line, the line of thoughts. But now if you have customer journey builder, it's a complete sentence, it makes more sense. So the same applies for this guy. That's why I talked about the breaking of the grid thingy. Might be at this point that mind got a partner. I will leave it there. Because when it's developed eventually, users don't see the grids. They just go with the flow. Does it make sense? Does it have a flow? Let's continue. So now we have this, we have this. Okay, we said we are following this guy. Now as you can see, in this one, he left minds here. But then this is me now critically designed that leaving minds now is not a good practice because it's leaving just a loner right there. That's why I now brought it down to having two. These are little things that make you different, make you say, okay, I'm learning. If you design it entirely, it's not bad for me, right? Some people might say you are stealing is different, but for me, this is how I learned. I will design what people have done, got my hand stronger before I then moving into merging things together to create a unique solution. So I have this. Now the next one this guy had was somewhere around here, and get started on this. So that is somewhere around here. So we'll give it 24. So for 24, we centralize these guys. Let's start with 80. Our scale also again, our spacing scale, right? So spacing scale. Let's work with 80. Let me turn on my grid. Now I have this, right? This placement I worked with 120, and it's this, right? But I want to work with 80 because a hero section, the maximum height of a hero section adaptable height of a hero section, because the same as whatever you design here, when it gets to a larger screen, it will change shape layout. When it gets to a smaller screen, it changes layout, so that you can enter every screen and you don't want to lose any information. I mean, I believe that if you view this, if I view this on my Mac, I might see probably just half. Maybe it might stop here because it's a 15 inches, right? Yeah, 15. So, but now this is a 27 inches screen, and then I'm seeing at the bottom. So if I give too much space at the top, if I give too much space, I might lose some people because I don't know the device a user is accessing my site from. Yeah. How are you able to select all? Just drag around and you selected all. Is that your question?
Yes, thank you, sir.
All right. So if I give too much space, I might lose. Already, I know that the height required um for a hero section is 600, 600, right? That is 600. Now this other place is for my next section. After, of course, giving my default 80. This is to tell the user that okay, there are more things on that. Come and see, right? But this place, I should be able to convert users with this place. That's why I stay at this line. So now next we have is this. Of course, it differs. If what you are designing for is doesn't have too much, then you might want to give it that same space we talked about, and then do your other image. Now this one is rectangle, rectangle, rectangle. I draw my rectangle, turn on my grids, and the rectangle came from outside, so I have this, and then I have this, and then this next guy come outside. This size I used are not styles I ought to use in real sense, right? So let me just delete it. So let's say we turn our grid and we tell it that we do not need any margin. Just give me everything. And then I want probably default I want probably 4 columns, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. So this one is smaller. Let me start by doing my middle. So my center one takes this. My next one takes from here 20. My other one takes from here 20. It's the same thing, right? It's the same line, but then I want one to be in the middle, this one to show small so that users can scroll, or then an interaction can be here, it auto scrolls by itself. This one also should show small. Now I have it. Now you see how the layout, my grid actually changed just to help me do this. So I'll change it back to 100 because I want it to be in the middle. So now I'm done with this. Next is the button view details. So it's the same primary button, so I'll just duplicate it and bring it here. It's under this, so I right click and bring to front. It's now on top of it. Then I can add an icon. So there are various icon plugins you can use to get icons. What I do usually, I go to the community, get materials icon or view search icon, then copy it to my work line. So this is remix icon, so that I can easily access it from where I'm designing. I don't need to run a plugin to do it. Because when I was learning in my early days, I did not have access to internet the way I want. So I needed to have it somewhere. Usually I'll just look at the design I want to redesign, get all the icons on my data, get all the icons I need, I keep it one of my data, then design offline and see what's up later, basically. But if you have access to data, just use your plugins and then get one of these plugins. I think I should send them when, I don't know if it's too early to send them, but yeah, I should send some plugins that you can use for icons. Now, one thing about icons also, you have to be consistent across board. If you are using one style of icon, continue using one style of icon. That's something that's why I also appreciate using this method because same style of icon. But now let me run another icon for you and so that you just see what I'm talking about. Let's see these feather icons. So if I draw this one inside, maybe, right? So let me just bring it now. This is it. Now you can see that it's not the same style. This one doesn't have a corner radius. This one has a corner radius. Yeah, so that's why I stick to one icon set. So in this case now I need an arrow, so I'll just search for arrow. Of course, my that icon pack has arrow, so I don't need to go too far. I just search for the arrow I need, bring it into my auto layout, and it auto just sizes for me on its own. So now we have this. Let me turn off my grid. So we just see now we have this, and then I can probably there's no layout, there's no this thing they use here. This is just aesthetics, right? So just you. I will not say I used 40 pixels because there's on what ground? Why using 40? Why using 30? Why using 32? It's just aesthetics, basically. I'll just fill this with images quickly with a plugin on Splash, just so.
Sorry, sir.
Yes.
Your screen. I don't know if you just said.
Sorry.
I can't see your screen. Like I'm not.
Okay. Okay. Sorry. Can you see my screen now?
No.
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 Are you sure?
No.
One sec. One sec. Uh, so what about now?
Yes, we can.
Yes,
Yes.
we can.
Yes.
Okay. So did you get me at the point where I said why I don't use one icon set? Do you understand why I said I use one icon set? Why I don't use multiple icons? You guys saw that pattern, right?
Yes, sir.
No.
All right, cool. Ah,
No.
so I was saying that the reason I use I use one icon package because in if I use multiple, right? Now this is remix. Now let's see what feather does. Uh, so if I let's say I bring feather inside, let me use this other one. Just show the example I'm trying to cite is better. Now look at this. Now the comment here is rounding, but in this guy there's no rounding. So if I use the two of these icons, I use both of them in the same design. There's no consistency because one of them is sharp, the other guy is rounded. So there's no consistency there. So I stick to one icon pack. So I'll just use a plugin to pump images into this part. So it just looks closer. No, no, no. What is this? What is this? My selling cards. Okay. What is really plus sense? Nature. Okay. So now as you can see, this is looking better. So if peradventure um, I'm into nature, then I will give my value proposition here. That's why I like using 80 because 120 might be way too long. So if I now in this place I can let them know what I do, tell them why they should use me, get started, images to support, and proceed to the next stage. And so because of our time, we might not be able to do this, but maybe in the next session we could do this. And I hope you guys understood everything we did today. This is just one. So as we go, we'll get to understand why we are doing what we are doing and how to make it better. And another thing also is if you're using flat rectangles, I mean flat buttons, by flat I mean no corner radius. As you go, don't change to start using corner radius, right? Because there's no consistency also. This is flat, this is curved, this is straight, so there's no consistency. If you're using flat, stay flat, right? And I think with that, I've come to the end of this workshop, and I'll start presenting. I don't know if you have questions at the moment.
Yes, I do. Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
I typed my message, my question earlier, but it seems you don't check questions in the chat. So I was asking, there was something that you were using to check the font style. So I was asking, is that a plugin?
Font style
Yes.
on the website now, yeah.
Was that the website of Figma? I am not sure.
So uh, this was where I was, something like this.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, this is a font. It's called what font? It's sorry, it's an extension on Chrome.
Okay,
It's
okay.
called what
Okay, so
font?
it's not on Figma.
No, nothing. It's called what font?
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So is that a question? Is that a question for today's class? Yeah, in this when the icon does have all the well, yeah, so you can compromise in that state. See, a question is in a situation where the particular icon pack doesn't have all the icons you need. Yes, you compromise, but then also the next one that you're trying to merge, of course, you can merge two icon packs together. Yeah, the next one you're trying to merge has to have the same properties as your first one, and it will work. Is that all? So if that's all the questions from today's one, in our next session, I think we should do something else. And any other question you have, I should go. Feel free to reach out to me, private on the group, the Slack channel, and we will address it. So I'll stop recording now, and